It's been a long day for you, gentlemen, but thanks for speaking to CNBC TV 18. My first question, straight after TK Kurien, the big talk and the big question, Kurien, that everyone is asking is on guidance. So you've guided for either a fall of 0.5% to a growth of about 1%. Typically, Q1 is a seasonally strong quarter, but there are obvious headwinds that are present right now. There are obvious pressure points. Would you say that the next 2 quarters will be challenging for the IT sector, and Wipro in specific? What clearly are the major headwinds that you will have to watch out for?
So, Kritika, it's a very good question, and let me answer that in a form which, I think it will be pretty interesting. If you look at our overall first quarter guidance, fundamentally what we have factored in that quarter guidance is a drop in our oil and gas business. Last quarter, which is quarter 4, we were really surprised by the way the oil and gas business went, because we saw a very sudden drop, and we expect that drop to continue even in quarter 1. The good news though is that we are leaders in the space as far as oil and gas is concerned. And we really play on the upstream side of the business. And that's one area where capital expenditure has clearly been cut over the past couple of quarters. In fact, if you read reports from the oil and gas business, close to $1 trillion of capital expenditure has been put in the back burner. In a way, that has affected us. We have lost $100 million last year in oil and gas, and this has happened over the past 2 quarters. We see that softness continuing into this quarter, but however, we are winning deals today. We have won 2 deals last quarter in terms of consolidation opportunities, which have come out of the Middle East and Asia, and plus we have won a deal in the US. There is a lot more deals in the pipeline as far as oil and gas is concerned, and that is the area of opportunity. And given the fact that we have domain expertise and we have leadership in this segment, we think we are pretty well positioned to grab market share.
Okay, I'll expand on that point on oil and gas and energy in just a bit, TK, but let me go across to Abid Ali in that case. It's his debut on CNBC TV 18 boardroom, although I think I've had you once with me in your earlier TCS avatar, Abid. I want you to give me a breakup. You've come on Wipro at a time when things are slightly volatile for the entire industry. TK in the press conference said that he will be looking at the future, whereas you'll be focused on the present. What really are the first line of fire, or what really are the first changes that you're looking at? And I believe there's been a lot of talk about organizational overhaul that is possible. From your point of view, what are the immediate changes that are likely, and is there a possibility that you're looking at a reshuffle of verticals and geographies?
So, Kritika, I'm 21 days in the organization, and first primary priority for me is to imbibe the spirit of Wipro. So I'm meeting people, I'm meeting customers, I'm understanding the DNA of the organization, which is very professional, very innovative. The organization has a very entrepreneurial culture, a very pioneering spirit. The customer relationships are deep. The customers trust Wipro to be their partner. So I think overall I'm very excited about the opportunities. In terms of my medium and near-term focus is, as you rightly said, enable TK to be able to drive the change or the transformation agenda, while I look at ensuring that we protect and grow our core and run the business. Essentially, some of the things that I'm planning to do is focus on the service line integration. Okay. I have all the service lines with me, and now as we drive transformation through Wipro Digital for the processes of our customers, as we do a higher level of mining of accounts, as we create demand in the market, there is an opportunity where the market is fundamentally changing in terms of not buying individual slivers of technology or services, but buying integrated services across infrastructure, application, and business process. And that is the opportunity I have. Okay. And my focus is to put together that organization. Also, I have the emerging markets, so markets in Europe, in Latin America, in Africa. There is a huge opportunity not only to be able to sell these integrated stacks there, but also there are very good early investments that Wipro has already done. There is a presence and the ability to scale up that investment and contribute towards growth. So I see many opportunities. Now, as we embark on this journey and as we see the need to bring leadership, bring focus on a certain area, we may look at certain organizational constructs, but no, there is no immediate priority to reshuffle the organization. I think there is a very strong team that I have inherited, and I think it is ready to go.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified that, because there's been talk about a possible reshuffle. So integration of service lines is what you're looking at. Quickly, let me go across to Mr. Jatin Dalal. Jatin, margins have definitely been better than expected, up by 23 basis points. Can you break this up for me? Exactly what is the impact of currency, because I couldn't pick up on that in the press conference, and what really were the levers which helped you scale up margins for this quarter? And also, going ahead, possibility, if at all, that we could see a change in your hedging strategy, because that seems to be, currency seems to be a concern for the next 1 year at least.
Sure. So, as you see, quarter four we delivered 23 basis point higher than quarter three. We have not really broken down the elements of it, but as you are well aware that our margins were impacted by the cross-currency hit. Our top line did get impact of 2.4%, and certainly a portion of that flow came through the operating margin line too. Now, where we could make an impact was really the number that you see in utilization. You see that we were able to do much better in terms of some of the productivity that we could get in our fixed price product through focus on automation, artificial intelligence, and some of the newer constructs of delivering in a much better way than what we have done in past. Oh. So that's to your question into quarter four performance. It is heartening to see that despite cross currency headwinds, we have expanded the margins.
And also on the hedging.
On hedging strategy, we sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Kritika.
No, go ahead. I was just clarifying on the hedging bit, and if at all.
Yeah, on hedging strategy, we remain focused on protecting our bottom line through the currency volatility, and that is an ongoing strategy. There have been external environment changes in last 4 quarters, and we suitably modified our strategy to protect our bottom line and the volatility that comes through the currency movements. And we will continue to evaluate from time to time if we need to make any changes. But from a investor standpoint, we are not making any large shifts that we need to communicate to investors.
So in the next 2 quarters, safe to say that you will work with the current hedging strategy that you have right now? And what's the exact hedge that you have?
We have talked about $2.7 billion of outstanding hedges as on the quarter 4 end.
Okay.
Let me 2.5 billion. Sorry, 2.5 billion of outstanding hedges as at the quarter 4 end.
Okay, fair enough. Let me go across to Mr. Govil in that case. Mr. Govil, your salary hike cycle, if I'm correct, begins next quarter. So you won't see the immediate impact of that going ahead. But in terms of utilization, how has the quarter been? Because the utilization seems to have, to an extent, helped numbers. Attrition down marginally despite a fairly seasonally weak quarter when you come to attrition.
So, Kritika, one correction. We will have our salary correction effective 1st of June.
Okay.
So we will see an impact of the salary increase in Q1 as well for 1 month, and the impact of 2 months in the second quarter. It is planned on 1st June. Also, we'll have our promotion cycles. We haven't decided what is going to be the increase. It will be in line with the industry, and we will share it at the right time. As far as utilization is concerned, if you see for the quarter and for the year, continuously we have seen an improvement in our utilization rates. We clearly see headspace to do more here. If you look at the entire people supply chain, very clearly both utilization has improved. Attrition has come down by 80 basis points in this quarter. We've operated in a very narrow band across the year. As well as from a hiring standpoint, we continue to hire as per business plans and needs, both in the past quarter as well as in the current year, coming year. So I think from a people supply chain, we are fairly robust. We have enough VR-ready people for deployment. We have the right attrition numbers. Attrition can improve. We are seeing that once salary increases happen, investments happen in people, we will definitely look at things there. So overall, it's something which is in plan as we move forward to support the business growth.
Govil, Mr. Govil, I'll take my chance and ask you this. Onshore 2% and offshore 8% is the industry average. Would Wipro be in line with that?
So there are different industry averages given. Kritika, I don't know what the industry average. There are some ranges given that we will share with you. Absolutely, we will do what is right for the business and for our people, and in line with what is happening in the industry. So we will definitely share with you at the right time.
Okay, fair enough. Going across to TK then. TK, your 5-year tenure comes to an end early next year. A lot of talk about succession. What I want to ask you is there a possibility that you will be extending this? And if not, history has shown that COOs take over the CEO post eventually. Is that a possibility?
So, the funny part of it is that everybody, including my wife, has been asking me the same question as to when I'm finally going to step down. The reality is that I think, when I got this job, I was very clear about the fact that I had an agenda. The agenda is not yet complete. When I'm closer to completing the agenda, I just want to make sure that when I leave Wipro, I leave a better organization in place. And that's really the objective. Succession is, to me, a very, very important part of the equation, and the person who's going to get the job at Wipro is going to be a person who really kind of understands market, is able to show growth, and more importantly, a person who's able to relate to people in an environment like ours. Our business is a people-related business. It's not a sweatshop. And I think that's a very, very important distinction, and that's the kind of individual who's going to get the job.
Okay, so TK...
So Abid has got his job cut out for him over the next 1 year. And then let's see.
Okay, fair enough. If I were to read between the lines, there is a possibility that you could look at an extension going ahead, if I'm correct.
I don't know right now. I mean, frankly, I think it's way too early.
Okay.
I don't know right now. Right now, I have an unfinished business on hand, which I need to finish.
Okay. TK, I have to ask you this. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of talk about Rishad Premji's role in Wipro. He has been at a strategic management level as well. Now, with your tenure coming to a close, and with Rishad being elevated to the board of directors today, is there a possibility that his tenure or his work in Wipro, his operational efficiency in Wipro will be higher now compared to earlier? And of course, would he be the possible candidate as and when the succession goes through?
So, it's kind of interesting that you mentioned that, because Rishad had no operational role in the company. He was really running strategy.
Yeah.
And that's an important distinction for us to make here. More importantly, Rishad represents ownership. By the way, that does not mean that Mr. Premji is going anywhere. Mr. Premji continues to remain as the executive chairman.